Hello guys and welcome back to Hey Manager with me Alex, and today we'll be looking at the transfers for the upcoming game week 5 after the international break that we've just had. So the first player we'll be looking at this week is Wilfred Zahar from Crystal Palace. Wilfred Zahar has scored 3 goals already this season in 4 games, 2 of which came against Manchester United in the opening game of the season, and to be honest he's been playing pretty well throughout the start of this season. He's been playing in that left wing / striker position alongside Jordan Ayew, and he's been selected by 20% of the Fantasy Premier League database. He's worth 7.2 million and his price is rising a little bit each week, tiny bit depending on how well he plays obviously. But for the next 5 games, I think against Brighton, Fulham, Wolves, Leeds United and Burnley, I think, I think Crystal Palace can pick up quite a few points, and Zaha is going to be key for them picking up those points. He's very good at dribbling, crossing and finishing. He's very skillful as well, but defensively he doesn't really contribute that much. He does like to finish counter-attacks, cuts inside from that left-hand side and does get fouled a lot, so he does produce a lot of free kicks that can be scored with their free kick taker, I believe his name is Milinkovic. But yeah, Brighton, this upcoming game week, I think Brighton's defence is looking pretty shambolic, as well as Fulham away. Fulham have been probably the easiest team to beat this year so far in the Premier League. Wolves and Leeds United, a tricky game, but then away to Burnley. I think overall, looking at that, 12 points out of a possible 25 in difficulty rating, I think I'd put my chances on Wilfred Zahar picking up a few points in the upcoming game weeks. Next up, we've got Teemo Werner from Chelsea. So Teemo Werner, let me just double check his price. I believe he's been, deducted to 9.4 million because of late he's not been performing that well in that role. He is in fact 9.3 million, which is a shocking reduction from his 9.5 that he originally started with. He has got an assist after he won a penalty for Chelsea, but other than that, he's not really contributed to the side. He's been selected by 21% of people despite his poor start to the season, and he does play in that striker role, or he can even go out on that left wing. His strengths include his pace, his, not apparent finishing, attacking positioning, passing and dribbling, but his weaknesses are his final product where he doesn't either pass the ball off or finish. His traits include playing off the defender's shoulder, shoots with power and also finishes the counter-attacks, but he has been lacking in that department lately. Over the international break he has scored, I believe, 2 goals and assists. Well, in the latest game he scored a goal and got an assist as well in the 3-0 win for Germany. An upcoming fixture against Southampton is looking pretty good for them. Southampton not playing particularly well, as well as that United away, which could be a difficult game. You can't really read United's form, but it could be a pretty easy game, as displayed by Tottenham themselves. After that, Burnley, Sheffield United and Newcastle all looking pretty shaky towards the start of the season. On each given day could go either way, but I think Werner putting into your side for 9.3 million now is a pretty good pick, but obviously you've got your alternates such as Vardy or Jimenez who can perform just as well, but I think Werner with these upcoming fixtures is probably worth taking a chance on. Next up, I've put in Mason Mount. So Mason Mount, he's been playing very well for England in their sort of game week fixtures. In the friendlies, for example, he's managed to pick up a goal. I don't know if it was his goal, but he managed to pick up more or less an assist in which the ball sort of loops over the goalkeeper's head against, I think it was Belgium, I believe it was Belgium. But for 6.9 million, Mason Mount looks like a pretty good player. He's started 3 games. He's also scored 1 and assisted 1, which is pretty good in terms of how they've been playing this season. Obviously, in that West Brom game, he did score that goal to get them back into the game near enough. He can play a centre attacking mid role, but he does sort of play a central midfielder role in this Chelsea side this season. It's an interesting one for him. 6.7% of people have picked him because a lot prefer to get Havertz into their side, who he's also played very well in this international break. His strengths include his passing, dribbling, work rate. His work rate's a very big one. Long shots, but also his free kicks. He's a great free kick taker, so he might be able to pick you up a few points throughout the season from free kicks. The only weakness he has is his tackling, where he just doesn't commit to tackles. He takes shots from range, cuts in from the left, and likes to cross the ball early, to which I thought Werner would be finishing them, but so far this season it just hasn't happened. After this international break, we'll have to see. As I said in the previous one with Werner, Southampton look like a very vulnerable side, Manchester United form's questionable, and the next 3 games after that look pretty good for Chelsea. And now onto the cheap buy of the week. I think this is, it's cheap buy of the week, I'm pretty much sure I've called it now. It's Adama Traore, the man that looks like a bodybuilder but plays football. He is unreal. He's very good. It's 6.4 million he's worth now. He's been deducted from 6.5. He hasn't really contributed in terms of points so far this season. He doesn't really score, doesn't really assist. He just picks up the ball and he's like a pre-assist type of player. He picks up the ball, goes out to the right wing, or maybe dribbles through the middle, passes it off, to which Jimenez will then finish after another pass from Podence, or even, I can't remember the right, oh no, Adama Traore is the right winger. But yeah, it's more or less Podence supplying the assists so far this season. 12.6% of people have picked him, which is surprising to me. He has made his Spanish debut, I believe it's his Spanish debut, and he's played pretty well. The manager has high praise for him, the Spanish manager. His strengths include his dribbling, crossing, passing, strength and pace. Strength and pace is a lethal combination in the Premier League. His final product does lack, though, as we've seen in previous years. He has got a lot better in his crossing. He likes to run at the opponent, crosses with pace and starts counter-attacks, can play anywhere down that right-hand side. Upcoming fixtures, so he does play Leeds this week. Leeds away from home. It's going to be a difficult game for Wolves, but I think they'll be pretty set regardless, unless this coronavirus has sort of hit them hard after Ronaldo got that and basically gave it the whole Portugal squad. But we'll have to see. Then Newcastle, Crystal Palace, the 2 games after that. Leicester, a tricky game. Leicester have had a very good start to the season, but then Southampton at home. I think they'll pick up 9 points in the Newcastle, Crystal Palace and Southampton game, and I reckon Adama Traore could contribute to that win. So there we have it. Those are my transfers this week, who I think you should be putting into your side. Let me know who you're going to be putting into your side in the comments below. If you did indeed like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I shall catch you in the next episode. Ciao.